Good, happy Tuesday morning, February 23rd, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Tuesday off to a good start. We have a little bit of everything for you in this program of The Morning Show with Riley King. So grab that cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Tuesday morning, February 23rd, morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Let's begin right now. First up, let's take a look at your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. And here is a look at that COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. Your global cases are 111,742,243. Your U.S. cases are 28,190,403. Your global deaths are 2,474,725, and U.S. deaths are 500,310. And that is a look at your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. Disparities persist as U.S. tops 500 COVID-19 deaths. Inequality in COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and deaths continue. 1 year after former President Donald Trump told Americans that the novel coronavirus was very much under control in this country, the United States on Monday surpassed 500,000 deaths from the COVID-19, according to data from Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. The virus has spread far and wide, with reported infections in every county in the nation, but there remains a precise undercurrent of inequality in COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. Biden honors Americans who died of COVID-19. In remarks ahead of a candlelight ceremony, Biden addressed the nation. Today, we mark a truly grim, heartbreaking milestone. 500,71 dead, Biden said. That's more lives lost to this virus than any other nation on earth. But as we acknowledge the scale of this mass death in America, remember each person and the life they lived, he continued. We often hear of people described as ordinary Americans. There's no such thing. There's nothing ordinary about them. The people we lost were extraordinary. They spanned generations, born in America, immigrated to America, but just like that, so many of them took their final breath alone in America, Biden said. As a nation, we cannot accept such a cruel fate while we've been fighting this pandemic for a long time. We have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow. We have to resist viewing each other and each life as a statistic or a blur or on the news. We must do so to honor the dead, but equally important, care for the living, those they left behind, for the loved ones left behind. After Biden gave remarks, he held a candlelight vigil and a moment of silence. Following his brief speech, Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff walked out to the south side of the White House, where candles were lit and displayed on the steps for a moment of silence. Earlier, the National Cathedral rang its bells to honor the more than 500,000 Americans who died from the coronavirus. I received a letter from a daughter whose father died of COVID-19 on Easter Sunday last year, Biden said before the ceremony. She and her children, his grandchildren, enter Lent this season, a season of reflection and renewal. With heavy hearts, unable to properly mourn, she asked me in the letter what was our loss among so many others. Well, that's what has been so cruel. So many of the rituals that help us cope, that help us honor those we love, haven't been able or been available to us. The final rituals with family gathered around the proper home going, showered with stories and love, tribal leaders passing out the final traditions of secured and cultures of secured lands, he continued. As a nation, we cannot and we must not let this go on. That's why the day before my inauguration I said, to heal, we must. Remember, I know it's hard. I promise you, I know it's hard. I remember, but that's how you heal. You have to remember. Ted Cruz under fire for photo ops in Houston following controversial Mexico trip. AOC and Democrat leaders were volunteering in the state at the same time. Just days after he was criticized for taking a controversial trip to Mexico as millions of Texans suffered in freezing temperatures and water and power outages. Texas Senator Ted Cruz came under fire for posting photos of himself helping with relief efforts. At the same time, one of his most prominent opponents came into the state to offer aid. Cruz visited some sites in Houston area on Saturday and Sunday, delivering bottled water to residents and providing food to first responders. The social media post, which featured the senator in a mask with the Texas flag were met with thousands of replies and tweets slamming Cruz for what many called a photo op to counter the bad press he got for taking his trip. And here is a photo of that. Take a look. Cruz took a trip to Cancun with his family Wednesday, while many parts of the state were still without power, water, and other supplies. He was photographed and videotaped by passengers at the airport and on the plane, and those images prompted a flood of criticism and jabs. Cruz was scheduled to return Saturday but flew back to Texas on Thursday following the backlash. The senator's office put out a statement claiming the trip was for his two daughters and their friends. He later told reporters that he had second thoughts and, in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. Supreme Court rejects Trump attempt to shield taxes from Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Trump was ordered to turn over taxes and had requested to stay on the ruling. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected former President Donald Trump's request to shield his taxes from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The ruling clears a way for DA to enforce a grand jury and subpoena for the records. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's take a look at the weather. And here's a check of that weather across the United States for all of you. As you can see, we're seeing a little bit of rain and snow around Seattle and Portland, and some snow over here, and some rain and snow over here. And then all down here and over here is all dry, and then around Michigan some snow, and then all along here is dry as well, and then snow off over here, and then the ocean. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for today. And we're going to switch gears now. Take a look at this video. Chicken playful shows dog. Let's take a look at the video right now.
Faster at Purdue University Global. With over 175 online programs, there's one.
Okay, what an awesome video that is. Awesome, awesome video. Very cute. And now let's take a look at this video. DaBaby, this is JoJo Siwa, and it reacts to Backlash. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
JoJo Siwa.
DaBaby just put JoJo Siwa on blast, and truly, we don't know why. Just take a listen for yourself.
You JoJo Siwa. You JoJo Siwa.
In the Beatbox Freestyle remix, which dropped on Friday, DaBaby takes a random swing at the 17-year-old YouTube star and holds a photo up of her on his phone.
You JoJo Siwa.
The diss left many fans super confused and, frankly, pretty angry.
I had to pause on that for a second.
And despite the backlash, DaBaby seemed to think it was all pretty funny. He took to Twitter to explain that the line wasn't meant to be a diss, but was simply a play on words. See, DaBaby's real name is Jonathan, hence the JoJo, and he used Siwa as a twist on CY. And while the uproar was in full swing, the 29-year-old tweeted, quote, "I love Twitter, bruh." He also tweeted directly at JoJo, explaining that he meant no disrespect and that his 3-year-old daughter is actually a huge fan. Quote, "She thinks she you. Don't let him trick you into thinking I'd ever have a problem with you. My wordplay just went over their heads. All love on my end, shorty. Keep shining." But even DaBaby's exclamation didn't stop fans from voicing their upset over what they thought was an attack on the teen star.
That is it's so far above me.
One person who hasn't chimed in, JoJo.
It's just unnecessary.
Of course, JoJo, who came out as a member of the LGBTQ plus community in January and introduced fans to her girlfriend earlier this month, recently gushed that she's the happiest she's ever been.
About 10 minutes before I came out to do this interview today, I was again on the phone with my girl, and I started crying. And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I'm just so happy." I was like, because now I get to share what makes me the happiest with the world, and it makes my heart so happy.
Okay, and there you go at that video. And Queen Elizabeth makes a speech, joint house before Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Oprah interview. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
I was the only chocolate drop in most of my classes. And I said that I wanted to be a scientist, and William sides with them.
It is turning into a battle royale. Wow. Prince Harry pitted against the Queen and his brother William.
I mean, brotherly love apparently only goes so far, as William sides with the monarch, their grandmother.
We understand that the relationship between Harry and William has taken 10 steps backwards.
Really sad and genuinely shocked. That's how Prince William reportedly feels about his brother Harry's recent behavior towards the Queen. What happened? Well, after being stripped of their royal patronages, Harry and Meghan seemed to imply in this response to the palace that they didn't need anyone's permission to do charity work.
Certainly the feeling at the palace is that the tone was disrespectful to the monarch. The Queen's word is final. William is very protective of his grandmother at the moment. He's very aware that she is obviously very worried with her husband unwell in hospital at the moment.
Harry and Meghan's charity was in high gear this weekend, pitching in to replace the roof at this Texas women's shelter that was damaged by the winter storm. And this morning, they made their first appearance since announcing Meghan's pregnancy. The couple discussed their podcast, which is reportedly part of a $40 million deal with Spotify.
We created Archwell Audio to make sure that we can elevate voices that maybe aren't being heard.
You can just see a little bit of a glimpse of the baby bump beneath that very pretty dress.
And there's another twist in the royal rift. The timing of Harry and Meghan's sit-down with Oprah just got super awkward. The Queen's annual Commonwealth Day at Westminster Abbey has been canceled this year because of the pandemic. So instead, Her Majesty will do a TV address which will air just hours before the couple sit down in the U.S.
The BBC picked the date of the 7th of March. This was decided weeks and weeks ago, I think well in advance of the Oprah airing date. The Queen will be very upset if anything overshadows the Commonwealth Day service, but I think it's inevitable given the huge build-up to the Oprah interview.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for this Tuesday edition of the Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday edition of the Morning Show with Riley King. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today with more news coverage. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.